Space is beautiful, vast nebulas, glowing stars, and worlds that look like they were painted by the gods. But beauty is a mask. Behind the cosmic artwork lies something far darker, places where the laws of nature twist into nightmares. Worlds so extreme that if you stood on their surface for even a second, you would be torn apart, melted, frozen, vaporized, crushed, or ripped into atoms. Tonight, you will travel into the depths of the cosmos. Tonight, you will witness the most terrifying planets in the entire universe, worlds that remind us how small, fragile, and unbelievably lucky we are to call Earth home. So buckle up. This journey is not for the faint of heart. Imagine standing on a world where the sky glows deep cobalt blue, and fierce winds scream at 8,700 kilometers per hour, faster than a bullet. Now imagine that same wind carrying razor-sharp shards of glass, slicing everything in its path. This is HD 189733b, a world with violent silicate storms so brutal they could shred a spacecraft in seconds. Silicate particles in the atmosphere condense into microscopic glass blades, turning the wind into a swirling wall of glittering knives. If you were standing here, the storm would rip apart your suit, your skin, your bones. Beauty and brutality fused into a single horrifying world. Now imagine a world so hot that seas of lava stretch across the surface like rivers of glowing blood. Welcome to 55 Cancri E, the infamous Hell Planet. Temperatures reach 2,400 degrees Celsius, 4,350 degrees Fahrenheit, hot enough to vaporize metal. Almost the entire crust is molten rock, constantly bubbling, cracking, and erupting as the planet rotates. Some scientists believe the planet may be composed mostly of diamond, compressed under extreme pressure. But the truly terrifying part is the cycle of destruction. When the day side heats up, the ground fractures open and lava fountains blast into the sky. When the planet rotates, the night side cools just enough for the surface to freeze into a crust, before it melts again. A planet locked in an endless loop of burning, breaking, and boiling. A world alive with fire. Next is a world where the weather is so extreme it sounds impossible. A place where it rains molten iron. This is WASP 76b. Its day side reaches temperatures high enough to vaporize iron into metal gas. Winds carry this vapor toward the cooler night side. As the temperature drops, the metal condenses into droplets and falls as iron rain. Imagine raindrops that melt through solid rock. Imagine a storm where each droplet is a bullet of liquid metal. This is a world where the sky itself is a weapon. Now travel to a place older than our galaxy. A world orbiting a pair of dying stars, a white dwarf and a pulsar. This is PSRB 1620-26b, nicknamed Methuselah. At 12.7 billion years old, it is nearly as old as the universe itself. It has watched stars live and die. It has survived cosmic explosions, supernova shockwaves, and unimaginable radiation. The pulsar it orbits is a rapidly spinning stellar corpse that fires death beams of radiation across space. A single second in their path would destroy molecules, tear apart cells, and sterilize anything on the surface. The only reason Methuselah still exists is because it moves in a razor-thin path of safety. A tiny shift in orbit, and the planet would be torn to pieces. A world older than time. A survivor in a cosmic graveyard. Now picture a world where night does not exist. A world illuminated by 3 suns, all rising and setting at different times, casting multiple shadows across the surface. This is Koi 5ab, a planet trapped in a chaotic gravitational dance between 3 stars. The heat is unpredictable, seasons are unstable, its orbit wobbles and shifts constantly. No life could ever adapt. Here, there is no darkness, no rhythm, just eternal burning sunlight, crashing from 3 directions. A planet tortured by its own sky. Now let's visit a world that breaks the laws of physics. A planet covered in burning ice. This is Gliese 436b. Temperatures exceed 700 degrees Celsius, yet the water remains frozen. Not because it's cold, but because gravity forces the ice to stay solid even while it burns. This is hot ice, a form of water that shouldn't exist, but does. Stand on the surface, and your body would vaporize instantly, yet the ice beneath you would stay perfectly solid, glowing with heat. A world where fire and ice coexist in the most terrifying way imaginable. On another world, clouds are made of corundum, the mineral that forms rubies and sapphires. This is HATP-7b. In its violent storms, the atmosphere forms gemstones. And when the winds rage, they rain down from the sky like bullets of crystal. Winds hit speeds over 10,000 kilometers per hour, turning these sapphire storms into deadly waves of glittering shrapnel. Beautiful, deadly, a hurricane planet armed with gemstone weapons. Now we come to a planet in its final moments. A world being slowly eaten by its own star. This is WASP-12b. Its star's gravity is so intense that it is pulling the planet's atmosphere into space, ripping it apart molecule by molecule. Huge spirals of superheated gas trail behind it like smoke from a dying fire. The planet is stretched like an egg, melting and disintegrating as it orbits. Scientists predict it will be completely gone in 10 million years. A slow-motion execution. A planet dissolving into nothingness. Some planets orbit the most terrifying objects in the universe, neutron stars. These stars are so dense that a teaspoon of their matter weighs a billion tons. Planets caught in their orbit experience extreme radiation, unstoppable gravitational tides, magnetic fields strong enough to rip atoms apart, particle storms more violent than anything in existence. These are worlds trapped beside cosmic monsters. Survival here is not just unlikely. It is impossible, but the most frightening worlds of all are the ones with no star. Dark, cold, alone. These are rogue planets, worlds that have been kicked out of their solar systems and now drift silently through the galaxy. There is no sunrise, no sunset, only eternal night. Some may have oceans of frozen methane. Some may contain glowing iron cores buried beneath thick ice. Some may be completely dead. But all of them share one thing. They are the loneliest planets in the universe. Silent shadows wandering through endless darkness. When we look at Earth, our forests, oceans, mountains, and sunlight, we see life. But beyond our world lies a universe filled with molten iron storms, supersonic glass hurricanes, burning ice, crushing gravity, and eternal darkness. And all of it reminds us, Earth is a miracle. Among billions of planets, we live on one of the rare oases where life can thrive. If that doesn't inspire awe, nothing will.